What's up guys, welcome back. Hey look, here's the deal. The last time we took the car out and made some quarter-mile passes, we ran a best of 12.7 at 119 miles an hour, which is pretty good, but even that run was pretty sloppy. And since then I've made a few changes to the car, the biggest of which being when we made that 12.7 pass, we were on like 7-8 pounds of boost, and now we're on like 11-12 pounds of boost, which is a pretty big difference. She should be making, you know, a good amount more power than the last time we took her out. Also, I bumped up the RPM just a tad, and you know, now we have a functioning two-step on the car. Even though she's not building boost while two-step is enabled, it still should make our launches that much more consistent. So I'm stoked about that. And then last but not least, we are gonna air down the rear tires a little bit more than the last time. The last time I think I aired them down to around 20 PSI. This time around, I'm gonna air them down to around 16 pounds, and then, you know, take the car out, make a few hits, and see if we can't lock in a new PB. So that's the plan. We are going to uncover the car, get it prepped, and then let her eat. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content recently. I've been trying to drop the best content I possibly can because it's the end of the year and I'm trying to go hard, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm being honest, come this new year, we're gonna have to take some time, kind of slow things down and get a few things on Miss Parker dialed in that I've kind of just been procrastinating on. One of which is a proper functioning fuel level gauge, because every single time we take the car out, I'm kind of just guessing whether she has fuel or not. Every couple times we take the car out, I got to put some gas in it just to make sure we don't run out of gas, and it's kind of stressful. So I would love to get a proper working fuel level gauge installed on the car. I already have the wires coming out of the fuel level sending unit in the tank, so I just got to wire them up to a gauge. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do is connect the oil pressure to the digital dash, which should be super simple, and then I'll put a fuel level gauge in the AC pod, if that makes sense to you guys. Let me know what you think. Miss Parker just be real thirsty, you feel me? Right at 16. Love that. I also have a little bit of bad news, guys. We're gonna have to get some new tires soon because we haven't really taken people on rides in Miss Parker ever, so I didn't really know what to expect. And if you look at this tire here, I don't know, oh yeah, you'll be able to see it. See that groove right there, guys? There's a groove right there, because what had happened was the passenger side already sits lower than the driver's side for whatever reason, but I've looked it up before and I guess that's quite normal. So with that extra added weight in the passenger side, guys, I guess under acceleration, when the car would kind of preload backwards and when we hit bumps, this fender, you guys can see it, it's caked in rubber because it was literally just coming down and chopping into the tire. I switched the tires already, so this is the tire that was on the driver's side when we were doing all of those ride-alongs, and this is the tire that was on the passenger side, and it got pretty badly damaged there. I don't think it's bad enough, you know, where it's gonna explode on us, because it's been holding air for about a week now. But regardless, you know, I would like to get those changed out as soon as possible. I already looked up a new set and it's just north of 500 bucks, which is pretty steep, and you guys know that I can't really afford that right now, but it is something that I'm gonna have to start saving towards because I want to get those rear tires replaced as soon as possible. I'm not a huge fan of them being, you know, gouged into like that and us making ridiculously fast passes in the car. It's just not safe, and you know, one of my big things with building this car is safety. If I was, you know, young and dumb again, I probably wouldn't give two shits, but I'm getting older, guys, I'm getting wiser, and safety is a big factor to me, you know. I want to build an awesome car and go real fast, but I also want to be safe while doing it. So yeah, we need to get some new tires. Hoosier, if you're watching this, hook your boy up, man. That'd be dope. But yeah, let's finish getting the car uncovered and get on the road. Gotta get this thing in the car. Also, here is the AC gauge pod I was talking about earlier for reference. So right now I just have an oil pressure gauge in it. Like I said, I'm thinking about connecting the oil pressure to the digital dash and then just running a fuel level gauge right here in the AC pod, because I really like how the gauge looks in that AC pod. I think it just looks pretty rad, so I don't want to get rid of the gauge in the AC pod altogether. So I think a fuel level gauge would be pretty dope right there. And then, you know, it'd be even better to run the oil pressure on the Holley, as we should be doing already, but we're not. And then eventually, you know, I'll connect fuel pressure to the Holley as well. Those are the only two things we don't really have connected to the Holley, is oil pressure and fuel pressure. Because, like I said, I've just been trying to focus on making the best content possible, which is driving the car and ripping the car. I don't feel like wiring videos are as exciting, but come 2023, early 2023, we're gonna have to take a step back and get some wiring done on the car. We also need to wire up all of the headlights, because if you guys are not familiar with the build, when we tore this thing down to install the Terminator X, I ripped every single OEM wire out of this car and I rewired the entire car from scratch. And I only put back exactly what we needed to make the car run. So now that the car is running and running quite well, you know, we need to go back and finish things up like the headlights. We need to wire up the headlights, the side markers, tail lights, brake lights, reverse lights, all that stuff. The car has no lights right now, so we need to wire all that stuff up. We need to get the fuel level sending unit wired up, oil pressure, fuel pressure. We have a bunch of stuff we got to do, guys. Like I said, I've kind of just been putting it on the back burner because it's not the most exciting content, but regardless, it needs to get done. So early 2023, we're gonna get after it. All right, let's fire this thing up, because the last time we had her running, we were pretty abusive, and you know, she took it like a champ, but we haven't fired her up since. So let's fire her up real quick, make sure Miss Parker is still happy. First start, boys. No gas. Stay running, baby. Stay running. That's right. She's a little bit temperamental when you first fire her up, but then she catches herself and she seems to run fine, so that's it. Sounds good, boys. Sounds good. Oil pressure, that's always a great sign. Everything else is looking good as well. So I'm gonna let her warm up for a bit, then we'll head out, make some test hits. So this is officially our new PV. The 60 foot is still trash, and I accidentally forgot to let go of the two-step button there for a second, but you know, it was my first time. Give me a break. Car was still moving out though. Ran a 12.1, which is over half a second faster than our previous best time of a 12.7, and our previous time of a 12.7 was at 119 miles an hour. And if you look now, boys, we were going 125 miles an hour on the back end, which if you look it up, 125 is good for a 10-second pass all day as long as the front half is there. So I'm pretty stoked on that. All right, here we go, boys. Now, even though this wasn't our fastest pass, I think it was still a pretty cool pass nonetheless, because if you notice, we let off at the 1,000-foot mark and we still rolled to a 12.6, which is faster than our previous PB of a 12.7. And if you look at the mile an hour at the 1,000-foot mark, we were going 113, and by the quarter mile we were going 103. So we dropped 10 mile an hour and we still rolled to a 12.6. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna try to leave off two-step this time. I'm just gonna try to roll into it. Try to keep traction. We'll see what happens. Here we go.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Uh-oh, boys. That's not good. Dang it. I don't know what happened. So I'm hoping that we didn't just toast the T5. We're going to do one more pass here. Again, I'm just going to roll into it in first because she's getting absolutely no traction. And we're going to see if we can't make it stick. Here we go, boys. That's not good, boys. We're gonna have to push her home. It's broke. I broke it. I broke it. You'll have that on these big jobs, Bo. Told me to hit it. Wish I could, dude. She broke. We done broke her, boys. God dang it, Miss Parker. Like I said, I ain't even mad. She don't owe us nothing. Our last outing, we were beating the heck out of her, but now we just got to get her home. And this is one of the reasons that I do all of my testing on this main road so close to home, because I know that the car braking is a huge possibility, as it just did. And then if we were out, you know, in Mexico, it would take even longer to...
What happened?
I broke her, dude.
Huh?
I broke her.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I was out testing the car and I think the transmission let go, which is all right. It happens. You see the car. I built it to race.
You built it yourself?
Yeah, everything myself, man.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I for sure blew the transmission up. Look, guys.
Huh?
See this all leaking ATF? Or trans fluid?
No reverse, nothing.
No, no gears. And
You
it's,
have a clutch? Is the clutch work?
no, I can't even put it into gear. It starts. I blew the whole thing up.
Why?
It's broken.
The clutch?
Yeah, I pushed the clutch in, put it into gear, and all you hear is all sorts of metal banging in there. Yeah, I broke it good. I'm gonna have to need a whole new transmission. No big deal. Whew. I'm about 100 yards down the road, and I'm spent already. Good thing Miss Parker's light as hell, or else this would be nearly impossible. Gosh dang, don't run me over, boys. Woo! Check it out. She's light, boys. Look, with the camera in my hand, I can get her rolling pretty decent here. And the tires are aired down. Kind of bit ourselves in the ass there, but we were trying to go fast, boys. Today wasn't in our favor, but you know, that's why we test. I'm just happy I wasn't too much further away from home, you know? All right, I'm gonna put the camera back down and get Miss Parker home, boys. This is super sketchy because it's a 2-lane road. There's really no like shoulder for me to go in, and there's mad traffic. So while I'm pushing this thing, you know, I'm scared that someone's just gonna be not paying attention on their phone and you know, slam into the back of us. But thankfully, we're almost home. So, freak. Come on, Miss Parker.
Eventually,
we made it back to the house, boys. I just want to give a huge thanks to the 4 gentlemen who pulled over to offer a hand on pushing Miss Parker back, or 2 of the guys actually offered to tow her back. They had pickup trucks, but the problem is, from my experience, I've learned, you know, when the car in front of you is pulling you, everything is fine, but when the car in front of you lets go of the accelerator or brakes, you know, you have to be on point, or else you're gonna slam into the back of whatever's pulling you. And you know, the brakes on this car are just not that great, and I didn't want to risk it. I told both of the guys, like, you're good, I appreciate you, but I'm just gonna take the time and push it home, because I'm scared that if you're pulling me and you have to make a sudden stop, I'm not gonna be able to stop, and I have way too much money and time invested into Miss Parker to run it into the back of somebody's truck, you know, in such a weird situation, like, you know, just towing the car home and I end up crashing it into the back of someone's truck. It's not really a great option. So thankfully, like I said, I wasn't too far away from the house, which is the reason why I test the car where I test the car, even though it's not the safest of places to test the car. And I know that, guys, like, you know, I've seen all the comments. Trust me, I know. I'm not dumb. I know that it's not safe, and if I had it my way, I wouldn't drive or test the car on the street at all. It would be a designated track car, because I feel like we're at that point now. And again, like I said, I just want to be safe, and the track is a controlled environment where if something were to go wrong, you know, I'd have the biggest chances of being okay, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain what I'm trying to explain, but you guys get the idea. If something happens to me out on the street, you know, we're pretty much by ourselves, whereas if something happens to us at the track, there's a bunch of people on standby and ambulances on standby and stuff like that. So I really just want to take the car to the track, guys, but you know, we can't do that just yet. And now we're not gonna be able to do that for a little while, because we got to get Miss Parker fixed. And I'm not really that mad. Like I said, this car doesn't owe us anything. We've had this build for 3 years now, and we have been consistently beating on it every time the car is running. You know, she's had a lot of downtime while I've been working on the car, but whenever the car is running, we're out doing pulls in it and beating on it. And you know, she's lasted quite a while, and the T5 definitely doesn't owe us anything. You know, it's known that they're typically the first thing to let go once you start making a decent amount of power in your car. And sure enough, the T5 left the chat, boys. I should have known, because the run before the last one, I told you guys I threw it into 3rd gear, and it kind of just revved up as if I missed the gear. But I thought maybe it was a fluke, because I had put it back into 3rd gear and, you know, gave it gas, and it started to accelerate. So I was like, you know, maybe I just missed 3rd. And then when we did that last run, boys, she completely checked out. I don't know exactly what gear she left. Maybe it was 3rd again. I gotta look back at the footage, or you guys will know before this, because it'll come up in the video prior to me knowing, because I haven't edited the video yet. But yeah, I think it was like 3rd gear. I don't know, everything happened so fast. Even after the fact, when I would try to put it into a gear and let go of the clutch, it sounded like we put a bunch of nuts and bolts in a blender. But yeah, I am not mad that we hurt Miss Parker. I'm more so concerned about how we're going to fix Miss Parker, because if you guys know, transmissions are not cheap. I don't want to throw a T5 back in the car, because I'm pretty sure we'll just do the same exact thing over again, because this T5 had been built before. So, you know, this T5 can handle a little bit more power than a stock T5, and if we throw a stock T5 back in the car and spend however much money on it, I'm almost sure we're gonna explode it within a couple weeks. So I would really like to get like a T56 in the car, but guys, I have no money. Like, I do not have any money. I cannot afford a McChicken from McDonald's right now, so I don't know how I'm going to afford a new transmission for the car, which is really what's stressing me out, because, you know, if I don't have a trans in the car can't drive, and if the car can't drive, it's kind of difficult to make content, which is my whole thing. Like, I just want to continue making content for the channel, and if the car is down, it's kind of tricky to make content. So again, I'm not mad that we hurt the car. It's a race car. This stuff happens. I'm more so upset that I don't have the funds to repair the car. Like, if I had the money in my account right now, I'd go inside and order a brand new transmission. It'd be here in a week or so, and we drop it and get the new trans in it like that, no messing around. But I don't have the money in my account. I don't really want to try to take a loan out to get a new transmission. So that's kind of what's stressing me out right now. Not the fact that we hurt the car. It's a race car. I know that things are gonna break and we're gonna have to replace them. The thing is, you know, I kind of thought that she was just gonna stay put together for a little bit longer while we kind of got our finances in order, but that didn't happen. We were out ripping on the car. Good news though is I think we made a new PB. It wasn't crazy, you know. I wanted to get her into the 11s today, but I think we ran a best of 12.1. Was it, boys? A 12.1. So we have a new PB. Pretty sick. Again, there's room for improvement. But as far as the transmission goes, boys, I want you all to do a favor for me. A big favor for me. Go on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, YouTube, tag Summit Racing and tag me, Javon Michaels, and tell these guys to help me out, man, because that would be sick. But yeah, besides that, I'm pretty stoked we ran a new PB. Let's check out the log. This is the log from the 12.1 pass. And if you look, I have it right now in 4th. We made 11 pounds of boost with the AFR at 11.3, 17.8 degrees of timing, TPS 100%. Everything was great. So the tune looks good, boys. You know, clearly she's making some power now. Enough power to, you know, grenade a T5 transmission. So that's sick. Now we got to find a transmission. Also, you know, if any of you guys have a T5 or a T56, no, not a T5. A T56 or a TKO or something like that that you're trying to get rid of, you know, let me know. If you guys are charging full price, don't let me know. But if you guys have a good deal on a transmission for the car, let me know, boys, because we are on the hunt now. We need to get a transmission for Miss Parker as soon as possible so we can get her back up and running. But I think that's gonna be it for this video. It was supposed to be a new PB video, which I guess technically it is because we did run a new PB. But yeah, now it's just gonna be a we broke Miss Parker video. But that's all right, boys. You'll have that on these big jobs. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Be easy.